Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to take a little look at the stuff that has been revealed at the UK Games Expo 2019, because Games Workshop has revealed a few things here, a few nice, tasty new models, and we're going to start off with some new stuff for Necromonger, because, oh my god, it's so good. These are the Palanite Enforcers, and just look at them. Just look at them. I absolutely love this. They're the Palanite Enforcers, otherwise known as the new kit for the Militarum Tempestus, the Tempestus Scions. Because clearly, you cannot ask for better kit bash conversion stuff for that particular faction than these guys. If you want a more local planetary force feel for that particular army, I don't even think you could do anything quite as good as these for that particular army. There's so much about these guys I really like. There's kind of hints of the Arbites, Arbiti, whatever you want to. I'm going to say Arbites. Go for it. Whatever floats your boat pronunciation-wise. We all know that I get it wrong every time anyway. There is some reminiscent stuff of that, but there is a very different feel to this. They're not the same thing, is something that's worth pointing out. As someone pointed out to me when I got excited and also confused, because I was like, oh, is it like a reimagining thing? Is it something different? No, they're not exactly the same. I think it's like a hierarchy thing, whereas the Arbites are further up. They're like a planetary thing. These guys are more local thing. Whatever the actual lore stuff, in a way, I don't really care. I just think these have been done really, really well. It's a really nice mix of just kind of sleek modern stuff, but there's still that very gang Necromonger feeling to them. I like little changes to some of the weapons, like the angle of some of those those drum magazines, clips, whatever. They've just done a great job with these. I did think maybe would they be good for scouts, possibly. You could maybe do some cool stuff for these guys for scouts, thinking about it. But I'm looking at these and I'm just seeing scions all over the place. Especially since if they are anything else like all of the other gangs, should be 25 quid for a box of 10, which is, well, you're getting twice as much as you do if you buy a box of scions, because you get 5 in a box for those. So you could actually probably make quite an efficient force out of these. And obviously, you can use them in Necromonger as well, clearly. As soon as I see new stuff, I'm like, ooh, conversion-y things, what can we do? Which, of course, is not what they're made for, but who cares? That's the whole thing. You can just use them for whatever you like. I really like these dudes. Really like them. They're fucking cool. So there's also a nice close-up of the leader. Yeah, I think they've done a really just a really good job on these guys. The overall look, the silhouette, the kind of combination of that very high-tech armor, it feels like, combined with fairly clunky old looking stuff. Yeah, they've done a cracking job. Looks so good. There's also been some wood elf stuff. Look. Okay, we'll move on now. But I just wanted to see that because just look at it. There's also been some wood elf stuff for Blood Bowl. I don't play Blood Bowl, but I do like a lot of the miniatures for it. And I have to say, these guys again, they look really, really good. They look really nice. Very. The bodysuit thing took a moment to get used to, because it really does look like they've got full-on bodysuits on. But to be honest, I think it kind of works. I do quite like them. They're a bit mad. The masks are crazy. But then again, they are wood elves, and wood elves, let's be honest, are a bit weird. There's also more stuff for Warcry in the form of the Korvac Cabal. And again, I really, really like what they've done with these models. I feel like you could get quite a bit of interesting, Tzeentch cultist stuff out of this, to be honest. Aside from the fact that, once again, can be used for Warcry, because that's what they're made for. But, as always, just immediately look at the conversion potential, because why not? The overall design of these guys is kind of weird, but I really like it. The guy with the wings, with the weird stilts, I don't know whether this is intentional or not, but there is a part in Mad Max Fury Road where you can see one of the, in the background of one of the shots, well, technically in the foreground of one of the shots, these crow-looking dudes walking through a marsh on stilts. I immediately thought of that when I saw that. Whether that was intentional or not, I don't know, but it has that kind of feel to it to me. Again, I'm just impressed with the like how different and like differently detailed a lot of these Warcry miniatures are. They are they're like recognizably similar in intent, but the actual look of them is like identifiably different. You know, given that it's all, for the most part, we've seen like Chaos Warbands and that's it. There are going to be others as well, but like that's been the focus of it so far. You would kind of think that they would get to the point of be like, oh well, okay, they look similar to the last guys. We're starting to get kind of repeated ideas, but it's not happening yet. There's still a nice amount of diversity from warband to warband, and these guys look like visually they are so far apart from the others. Again, done a really good job. A lot of it is, of course, down to like the bird skulls that they've got on the beaks that come off the heads, which is one of those things where I don't think it's like a massively complicated thing to do, but it does really set them apart in terms of personality. Like, it just adds something that you're just not going to see that particular thing again on any of the other factions. It kind of ensures they're going to remain looking unique. And actually, when you look at the other Warcry stuff, I think that's true of a lot of the stuff they've put on there. They've kept things similar in terms of like attitude, whilst also making them very different in terms of overall personality, which I think is honestly quite a tricky thing to do sometimes. But yeah, they're doing a stand-up job with it. I have to admit, some of them I would prefer fewer weapons. That's my only gripe with these. I like everything about them except the dudes with the spears and a weapon, like an extra weapon as well. So, like the two dudes up here, you've got a spear in one hand and you've got a sword, like a short sword or a very long dagger in the other hand, and like that weird war pickaxe thing there on that dude's hand. I'd kind of prefer those to just be holding the spears because it feels very unwieldy to have them holding both. I mean, that's not to say that the others with two weapons aren't unwieldy, but for some reason, like that, the one with the sword and again like the weird pick, and the other one with the hook sword and a dagger, that looks more reasonable to me. That looks more believable in terms of being able to use those weapons at the same time. Whether that's actually true or not, probably not, but just visually they look more like they'd be able to do their job than the ones with the spears and the sword / pick at the same time. That's just a me thing though. Of course, that's just a totally subjective thing. It could be one of those things where you're looking at it going, no, I actually quite like the other way around. That's fine. That's like a minor gripe for me, and there's no reason why you couldn't like remove something if you wanted to. I don't think it would make that much of a difference overall if you wanted to take away a spear and put something in its place, or take one of the other weapons off so it's just the spear. Yeah, again, really good models, and there's a nice image of them with that backdrop there. the one with the stilts and the wings, I really do like that. It's just so weird and different. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Warcry for so many reasons, but at this point a lot of it is just becoming, I want to paint all these different warbands because they all look so interesting and unique to each other. Again, it's hard not to say they're just doing a really good job with them. There's also going to be a Blackstone Fortress expansion, so there's more Chaos Cult nonsense going on with these guys. I do like the combination of weird jaw helmet and ornamental fiery stick. So it's a good look, it's an excellent look. For some reason, both of these feel quite Mad Max to me, which I'm not going to complain about. I like everything about that franchise, so, well, I say everything, maybe not the third film, maybe I don't like everything about that franchise, but there's just like a weird kind of Mad Max feel to some of this stuff. I'm not going to complain about at all. And again, yeah, they just look good. They just look like good, funky models. I'd really like to see these become separately available at some point, because they're again like a fun, interesting take on Chaos Cultists. They look a little bit different. They look a little bit special. It'd be nice to be able to get hold of them outside of the game. Although again, if it's just an expansion, then there's no reason why you couldn't pick up a few if you really wanted to. And of course, there are other things in there as well. There are the models that we saw before, quite a while ago now, I seem to remember, and that Rogue Trader in the middle remains one of my favourite things that they've done for ages, just because it's so mental, it's so weird, it's so just just crazy. It still looks like she's missing a servo skull, which I'm not a massive fan of, but just stick a skull on top of it, you'd be fine. The Crusader, again, it's just such a good model. It's a really nice reimagining of that. So yeah, there's been some really good stuff shown off for the UK Games Expo. Some really nice models. There's nothing in there that I don't like. I think overall, just the sculpts that they're doing at the moment are just good all round. I'm yet to see things that I really, really dislike for the most part. There's like little details here and there that I wouldn't mind changes on some stuff, but the vast majority of stuff that I'm seeing, I'm just super happy with, and I think they're doing a damn good job with stuff at the moment. So yeah, that's the stuff that's been revealed at the UK Games Expo. Let me know what you think of all of this stuff in the comments down below. Is there any model that's standing out as your absolute favourite? What are you going to do with the Palanite Enforcers? Are you going to end up starting a Scion army? Or are you actually going to use them for Necromonger, which is what they're supposed to be used for? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all of that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.